What's up, Cowboys Nation? I'm Nick Eatman along with Stephen Jones, Cowboys Chief Operating Officer. And we got down to the end here of 2024. We're going into 2025, one game to go. Obviously, the Philly game wasn't the way you wanted it to go. How can this team kind of wrap this thing up and on a winning note here?
Well, I think the big thing is we started off strong against Philly. I think we were moving the ball well, but unfortunately, you play a team that's trying to clinch a division, and you turn the ball over like we did and lose that turnover battle 4-0. On the road, you're not going to win a lot of football games, and unfortunately, we did, and we were, I think, doing a nice job of moving the football. Cooper was moving the team. Rico was running the ball well. I thought our defense was doing a nice job in the first half of, really getting around Saquon, which, by the way, hats off to him. What an amazing year he's had. What a professional, 2,000 yards. That rarely happens. So kudos to him and the job he's done. But anyway, I thought that first half we did, and I think, unfortunately, it just started to catch up to us. And, when you're playing without a lot of your guys and things start to stack up on you, went against us. But, the best way to wrap up the season is go get a win against Washington. And certainly they're now locked in a playoff berth, and it'd be great to finish up with the home crowd here and get a big win and, look to our future after hopefully getting after the Commanders.
When you look at teams like Washington's in the playoffs, you defeated them, you defeated the Steelers. Tampa Bay looks in at the moment. Can you get some momentum off the fact that, hey, we did play well against some of the better teams? Obviously, there were some games that didn't go your way, but when you're facing a playoff team, maybe it can give it a little bit more momentum.
Absolutely, and I think we did it with people want to talk about the depth. We did it with I think right now we're over 50% of our salary cap on IR. Okay. So you start to look to what the team can do in the future, and you start looking at all the guys that we'll have back next year. Certainly that's an optimistic feeling, but we're missing some of our best players between Dak and CD and Diggs and Zach Martin. That's a good group of men that you were counting on going into the season that are all Pro Bowlers, all Pro type guys. But certainly we feel good about this group of guys. The young guys are getting a lot of action now, and certainly that'll pay off for us, and look to have them step up and play big against Washington.
Well, obviously this was overshadowed by Barkley going for 2,000 yards, but when Rico's getting 1,000, first player in Cowboys history as an undrafted player to get to 1,000 yards. You guys are real big on undrafted free agents. You've had a lot of success there. What does that say about a guy like that that's been able to overcome injuries and have that kind of season?
Yeah, hats off to Rico. What a great job, and it came late. It took a while for him to gel with the offensive line. We had a lot of combinations in our offensive line group. As I mentioned, Zach Martin, Tyler Gatton got banged up along the way and was splitting time there with Chuma. We had to play Hoffman in and out of there, who did a really nice job, and then gelling with Rico. And for him to get accomplished and make that 1,000 yards, we still got a game left to go. Obviously that's very optimistic, and it showed that, we kept getting better, as time went, and fully expect us to play well against Washington.
I know you don't want to tip your hat a little bit here, but there's a lot of talk about Trey Lance, and you had him in here, and with one game to go, do you expect maybe to see some of him, or is that something that you will just wait and see how the week plays out?
Well, I think we'll see how the week plays out, but yes, I think we're going to see more of him and could see quite a bit of him. So, he's obviously worked his tail off. Cooper's done a great job with this team. But at the same time, we might want to take a good, long, hard look at Trey this weekend and see what he has. We'll see how practice goes during the week. Obviously, we've stressed it, from the moment that we got a little bit behind in the playoff race, that we want to win football games. And certainly we want to win the Washington game. We've had a tough road to hoe here at home this year, and love to give our loyal fans a good win.
Sure.
Against the Commanders.
And one more here. I know that free agency will happen at the end of the year. But you have a lot of free agents here. One of them, Jourdan Lewis, and just the way that he's kind of fought through things. Everyone's always told him he's too short, too little to play. He's played 8 or 9 years now, and just the way he kind of battles, it seems like he's a guy that's really been somebody that you always look at and say, that's the way we want our guys to play.
Well, that's a Dallas Cowboy football player in our mind, and he's not the longest, he's not the fastest, but he's right at the top in terms of being the most competitive, uber competitor on this football team. And you're right. I mean, that's the type of guys we want to draft that go out and compete week in and week out. I know he helped set the tone with Coach McCarthy and Coach Zimmer in terms of the way we've played down the stretch and remained very competitive and winning football games when a lot of teams lose their edge and go the other way. So hats off to Jourdan. He's not only a leader on the field, a leader off the field. He represents, as you said, what we want when we're drafting a Dallas Cowboy. We want to think of Jourdan Lewis.
Awesome. Well, we'll see how that happens when you get into the draft here next spring. All right, one more game to go. Cowboys take on the Commanders Sunday at noon at AT&T Stadium. For Stephen Jones, I'm Nick Eatman. See you next time on DallasCowboys.com.